Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back with another brand new video. Today's a video, we are here quite fittingly I think in the first upload of the new decade to discuss the last decade. That's right, finally we are here with the video that's been in the works for about 3 to 4 weeks. We are here finally to discuss the Rangers team of the decade. But before we go any further on with today's video, as always, a quick shout out to the channel sponsors, the legends themselves, OneFootball. The link will be down there in the description below, as always, if you want a free footballing app. But you know what, as we haven't made a video since last year, let's just get into it then, shall we? Right, the Rangers team of the decade, the way we're going to be working is I'm going to give you my opinion. As always, if you want to carry on and fire in your opinion as I discuss them, that would be absolutely tremendous. First up, we are going to be discussing the goalkeeper, and this one is pretty damn simple. Probably the easiest out of all the picks, if I'm honest with you. He started the decade off as a hero, and he ended it as a Rangers hero. It is none other than Alan McGregor. That's it. That's us done and dusted. I didn't feel like I need to go any further. He was the best goalkeeper at the start of the decade. He was the best goalkeeper at the end. He's utterly fantastic. The big man for the big moments. He's always there. Whether he has to make 15 saves or 1 save, he will always be there, and he's always reliable. So Alan McGregor is in the sticks for the team of the decade. Moving over to the right back, and for the right back spot you had people like Steven Whittaker, who you could have mentioned there, but I am not going to be doing that, especially over the last year or two before he did leave the football club. He wasn't at the peak of his powers that he was a couple of years before, where he was utterly dominant for Rangers. You think about the goals in European football. So we're not going to be saying Steven Whittaker in this list. We're obviously, of course, not going to be saying Richard Foster. I mean, come on now. And no, it's got nothing to do with that miss versus Valencia where it was free at the back post. He just had to hit the target and we're reaching the next round of the Champions League. It isn't because of that. It's because he was utter gash. So it's pushing them to one side. That just leaves my pick, and that, of course, had to be the current captain, Captain Tavernier. Yes, I'm going to be honest, when he first came in, he was very, very iffy defensively, but I think upon season of playing for Rangers, he's got better and better. Now he's a much more well-rounded fullback in my opinion, and he's a much better defender than a lot of people give him credit for. Just look at the Celtic game, look at some of the European games. He can lock down a side, but again, he's up and down all damn day. He's always available for selection. Has he made the odd mistake? Obviously, that's flared up a couple of times this season, but I think he offers a hell of a lot more positives than he does negatives. So for me, the captain is at the right back spot. Right, moving over to the centre back spot then, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is where it started to get really, really tough, especially picking these next 2 spots. But I just mentioned a current Rangers captain, right? Well, this first centre half that I'm picking was the captain the last time Rangers won the league. It was none other than the ageless man himself, David Weir. Now, I've already mentioned it, but genuinely he seemed ageless and he was aware of everything and everyone on the park. It's very, very hard to explain just how good he was at the centre-back spot. Yes, he didn't have any pace, but he didn't need pace because he was always in the right place at the right time, and he could just read the breakdown of play nearly perfectly. And I think given the fact that when he was brought in, it was a short-term deal in 2007, he wasn't expected to play much, but not only did he play much, he went on to captain the football club. He played nearly every single game for the next 5 years for Rangers, and there's so many standout performances from Captain Davy Weir. Now, I'm mentioning the word captain because Alan McCoist, who I saw some great Rangers captains, hell, he's played alongside some of the greatest of all time that we all absolutely love. He's been on record to say that Davy Weir was one of the greatest Rangers captains he has ever seen, and that sums up for me. Davy Weir makes a list. And to play alongside Davy Weir, what I'm about to say, I know for a fact is going to annoy some people, and for that I do apologise, but this is just my list, ladies and gentlemen, and my smile's getting wider and wider because I'm thinking of the memories I have of watching this guy play with my dad. It is none other than Magic himself, Big Boguera. And I'm really sorry I've not mentioned Katic or I've not mentioned Connor Golson, but this guy right here was unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. See that excitement we get when Ryan Kent gets the ball or Alfredo Morelos gets the ball in a dangerous area? That was the excitement we used to have in the stadium watching Boguera get the ball. And he was a centre half. For solo goals, drifting by people and scoring himself, to being awarded the man of the match away from home at Old Trafford versus Sir Alex Manchester United. The man had it all, he'd done it all, and he just gave everyone a massive smile on our faces. So that's it, that's my 2 centre halves, Davy Weir and Big Magic Bagheera. So to finish off the old defenders of the decade, we turn our attention to the left back spot, and there was a couple of names that came to my mind. You had BB, because he's just been terrific now for a couple of months. He's been playing absolutely balls out and it looks as if he's only going to get better and better. You've obviously got a former club captain and club legend, in my opinion, Lee Wallace, who stayed with us, who showed loyalty and was a pretty damn good footballer as well. I've got to be honest with you, he was very, very close to being my selection for left back, but I've just got to be true to myself. When I think of Rangers left backs, there is one man that comes to my mind apart from Arthur Newman. Okay, fine. The other player that I think of when I think of Rangers left backs is the measuring stick, or has been the measuring stick over the last decade for the fullbacks at Rangers Football Club, and I'm obviously talking about the unflappable, the messy pocketing, the one, the only Sasa Papac. Honestly, when you go into Google and you search consistency and you hit images, you see that picture right there, ladies and gentlemen. Also, didn't check that fact, by the way. Just trust me, I'm telling you the truth. But all joking on that aside, I cannot break down just how consistent this guy is. In words, for 5 years, he was always up here. There wasn't a downtime. Yes, his first season where it was a little bit iffy, but for the next 5 years, every single game he played, whether he was suffering from injuries and he's just came back, it didn't matter if he was playing week in or week out, or if he was missed 3 or 4 months with injury. As soon as he came back, as soon as he played, he was right back up here, and he was 8 out of 10 every single game. I've never seen consistency like it. I can't think of one bad performance after his first season, honestly. And with the defence now complete, it's time to jump over to the midfield, and as always, we are going to be rocking the 4-4-2 whenever we discuss these types of videos. It's always the old-fashioned 4-4-2. So let's jump over to the right mid spot, and again, there was a couple of names to think about. You had Stephen Naismith, who was very good for the first 2 years for Rangers at the start of the decade, but there was absolutely no chance I was bringing him in. But someone I did almost pick was Daniel Candeias. He was right there for me and just missed out by that. Yes, his end product was frustrating, but everything you want for a Rangers player when he pulls on that shirt: heart, determination and work rate. DC had that. And as I've said on this channel before, DC was a very, very important transitional player for us from just being alright to where we are now, so I'll always be grateful for his hard work and effort. However, there was one player that had to go in this spot, and I'm going to cop out a little bit, but didn't kill me. I'm going to try and explain it. The man that I am putting it right mid for the team of the decade is Stephen Davis. I know that's not where he spent the majority of his Rangers career, right? But he did play right mid for Rangers in the last decade and the decade before, as I show the evidence and try to kill you all down. But the reason that Stephen Davis has made the Rangers team of the decade is pretty damn obvious. He was fantastic before he left, and he was fantastic when he came back. To me, still, there is no one in the Scottish game that can control the tempo of a game like Stephen Davis can. He still strolls it, and he showed that in the Old Firm. No one could get near him. So moving over to the midfield then, shall we? And this is where it got very, very difficult. But if you've been watching this channel for a long time, and hell, if you even know a little bit about me, the first pick was very, very easy. And that is not me just being biased, ladies and gentlemen. No. The guy genuinely deserves it. Because if you long-time watchers remember, I signed Ryan Jack a year before Rangers even got linked with bringing him. It's in the Rangers career mode for like FIFA 16 or FIFA 15. I can't remember which one it is. And I talked up Ryan Jack. I was always very impressed with Ryan Jack. I always wanted him to play for Rangers. And since he's came in the door, he's just came leaps and bounds per season. As my old dad likes to say, you play better with better players. And as we've strengthened around Ryan Jack, he's rose to the occasion every single game, and he's been absolutely terrific. In fact, he's playing that well that Steven Gerrard just last week in a press conference said that he is potentially the Rangers Player of the Year. And that's when you've got Alfredo Morelos sitting on 28 games before Christmas. That is just how good Ryan Jack actually is. And yes, okay, he is my favourite player, but as the reasons we've already mentioned and countless others, Ryan Jack makes it into my team of the decade. We prayed and we hoped for a bit of strength and spine in the middle of that part for so many of the banter years. We got Ryan Jack, he answered it, and he's just getting better. So that is why Jacko has made the squad. Now, to play alongside Ryan Jack, this is where it gets very, very tough and very, very interesting, because you think of it, you had players like Kevin Thompson, you had Pedro Mendes leaving just as the decade started, and then you've got players in our current team like Glenn Kamara, who very rarely puts a foot wrong, and you've obviously got the maverick Scotty Arfield, who could be anything on any given day. But there was one man that just stayed in my head that I was like, right, I'm going to move Stephen Davis out to the right hand side just to get this guy into the starting 11 because I absolutely love the guy. You might know who it is going to be, but it was a Rangers captain who stayed with us, again showing the loyalty, and this guy makes it into the team of the decade for me because he would have played in any single position that we asked him. And I'll tell you son, thinking back, I'm pretty damn sure that he did play every single position besides the goalkeeper, but just in case you don't know who I'm talking about, it is of course Big Jig. Very, very close between him and Kevin Thompson, but I've went with Big Jig because everything you ask for a football player, heart, desire, he will literally run through a brick wall for you. And again, he showed that loyalty as well when he needed it. Again, sort of towards the end, his performances, his level certainly dipped a lot, and that causes a lot of frustrations. We also saw that with our A&Is, but let's just remember what he gave to the football club, and that was absolutely everything. Not as talented on the ball as some of the other players that we mentioned for the middle of the park, but he had massive, massive moments. He scored very important goals, and he had very big performances when we needed it at the start of the decade as well. So Lee McCulloch and Ryan Jack is my midfield partnership. Can you imagine trying to get by that? And to finish off the midfield, we dive over to the left-hand side, and there wasn't, again, too much choice for the left-hand side. You obviously had Kyle Lafferty, who had mixed results playing there. You had Barry Mackay, who looked like he was going to be a very, very important player for us for a numerous amount of years, but it didn't quite work out. But again, he had his own individual brilliant moments, and I'll never ever forget that 3-minute Twitter video of him creating clear goal scoring opportunities that was just missed, and he was robbed of so many assists from truly awful finishing from the team that was around him at that time. Honestly, go and check it. It's absolutely devastating to watch, but it isn't him. He didn't make my list. Nah. This one was pretty much an open and shut case. Very easy. It has to be none other than Ryan Kent. He's got skill, he's got pace, but something that's not mentioned enough is his work rate. That doesn't always go hand in hand. We've seen talented players no have that work rate, but Ryan Kent, it doesn't bother him. He will track back 50 yards and try and put a slide challenge in. He will put pressure on. He will close the gap. He's got absolutely everything you could ever want, and again, he's all yours. And to my two strikers leading the line, this one was so fun and so easy because it genuinely only took 0.55 seconds to pick. The first one is Big Jelavic. If you don't know a lot about Jelavic, please go and check this man. So skillful. His technique was immense. Anything you could ever want in a forward, he had that. The clinical edge, you give him a half chance, it's in the back of the net. You've got free kick talent in there. From first time volleys, picking it out of the sky to perfection, to overhead kicks, he'd done it all in a very short time at Rangers. What a forward, what a player. Jelavic obviously had to make the list. And to play alongside the beautifully technique Jelavic, of course, it was Morelos. It had to be Morelos. Can you just imagine what it would be like with them two up front in their prime? Oh my sweet 55. And regarding Alfredo Morelos, I don't think I really need to say much. We all know just how great this man is. He's a mad, beautiful goal-scoring genius who runs Scottish football. If you don't believe that little statement there, who are the Celtic puppets in the media talking about still? Exactly. Well, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is my Rangers 11 right there to be seen. That is my Rangers team of the decade. If you haven't done so already, get involved in the comments to let me know who your team of the decade is and why you've picked them. And before the video ends, I just wanted to take a very, very brief moment just to pay my respects to every single Rangers fan who unfortunately lost their life, because today is obviously the anniversary of that tragic event. It's a very devastating day for all Rangers fans. They may be gone, but they are never ever forgotten, and I know for a fact every single person watching today's video has took time out their day to think about them and pay respects to them and their family. It's a community, it's a family here at Rangers. That was obviously a devastating event, and my father actually was at. He called me the day. It still affects him to this day. So instead of finishing the video off like we usually do, I just wanted to end today's video just by paying my respects to every single person who has been hurt and affected by that tragic day, and I'll see you in the next video.